Distraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it comes disguised as a friend, a notification, a petty argument, a subtle dig that sticks in your mind longer than it should. You think it's random, harmless, part of everyday life. It's not. If you're aiming for something big, if you're building anything real, understand this: distraction is a tool. It's a deliberate, well-placed tactic used to pull you off course. And if you don't recognize it, it will own you. Look around. The people who never reach their goals, they're not all lazy. They're not all unmotivated. Some of them are simply distracted, pulled into cycles they never asked for, emotionally hijacked by people who don't even matter. One bad text, one offhand comment, and suddenly they're spinning, energy wasted, time gone. That's how distraction works. It doesn't need to defeat you. It just needs to delay you. There are people, systems, and situations that profit off your lack of focus. They gain ground when you lose yours. You think you're just taking a break. Meanwhile, your enemy, whatever, or whoever that is moving with intention. They're not distracted. They're watching you get emotionally entangled in things that have no bearing on your purpose. They're feeding off your reaction, and they're counting on you to give into it. You've got to be smarter than that. You've got to be aware. Distraction isn't just about what pulls at your time. It's what disrupts your peace, what disturbs your mental clarity, what shifts your attention from something meaningful to something meaningless. That a harmless scroll through social media becomes a 45-minute spiral of comparison, frustration, and self-doubt. That a quick phone call becomes 20 minutes of gossip that lingers in your thoughts and poisons your energy. None of this is random. None of this is random. If your attention is the most valuable thing you have, why would you ever let it go cheaply? The most dangerous distractions are the ones you justify. I need to know what they said. I just want to see what's going on. I have to respond. Distractions at you. What you have to do is protect your purpose. Not everything requires your reaction. Not everything deserves your presence. The more distracted you are, the less effective you become. The more focused you stay, the more powerful you are. It's that simple. Distraction is not just about lost time. It's about lost direction. You can look busy and be going nowhere. You can be exhausted but have accomplished nothing. You can be surrounded by movement but stuck in place. That's the illusion distraction creates. Motion without progress, effort without results. You're fighting battles that don't matter, while the real war, the one for your growth, your mission, your future, is being ignored. So when the noise starts, when the drama creeps in, when the temptation to react is strong, ask yourself one thing: who does this benefit? Because if it doesn't build you, sharpen you, or bring you closer to your target, focus isn't a mood, it's a weapon. You don't wait to feel like using it, you train yourself to live inside it. In a world built to distract you, your ability to focus is one of the most valuable assets you have. If you can lock in, block out the noise, and execute under pressure, you are already operating at an elite level most people will never reach. People talk about motivation, discipline, ambition. That's fine. But without focus, those words are just air. You can be the most motivated person in the room, but if your attention is split, if your mind is scattered, if you're chasing 5 things at once, you're not a threat. You're distracted. And distractions don't move the needle. They drain energy, kill momentum, and blur your vision. Focus is how you separate yourself. It's what builds results when the excitement wears off. It's how you tune out the external and command the internal. You don't get that by accident. You get it by cutting out the unnecessary. The extra noise. The opinions that don't matter. The emotional pull of situations designed to bait you. Every time you entertain a distraction, you're leaking power. You're giving your energy to something that doesn't earn it. There's a reason some people stay stuck. It's not because they're not capable. It's because they can't stay locked in long enough to push through. They start strong and fade. They pivot every time it gets uncomfortable. They jump from one thing to another, confusing movement with progress. But power comes from consistency. From being willing to sit in the boring, the painful, the repetitive, because you're focused on the outcome, not the moment. Every goal worth having demands something from you. It demands time, energy, clarity. You don't give those things halfway and expect full results. Focus forces you to get clear on what actually matters. It makes you examine where your time is going, who has access to you, what conversations you're allowing into your mental space. It makes you protect your mind like it's sacred, because it is. When you focus, you become intentional. You don't chase, you choose. You stop reacting to every trigger and start responding with purpose. That shift alone will separate you from 90% of people who spend their lives in reaction mode. They're pulled in every direction. You're grounded, you're sharp. You know exactly what you're after. And more importantly, you know what's not worth your time. You don't owe your attention to everything that wants it. That's how the enemy wins, by diluting your mind, keeping you busy but ineffective. Focus makes you dangerous. It means you're not just working hard, you're working smart. You're not just moving, you're moving with direction. When you focus, you make better decisions. You get better results. You become the kind of person who follows through, not the kind who just starts things and leaves them undone. Focus sharpens your actions, hardens your mindset, and keeps your energy where it belongs. Let's get something straight. Your attention is currency. It's not free. It's not unlimited. And it sure as hell shouldn't be handed out to just anyone. If you don't protect it, someone else will spend it for you. That means people, conversations, situations, and drama will take up real estate in your mind. Flinch free, unless you shut the door. Not everyone who talks to you deserves a response. Not everyone who criticizes you deserves a reaction. The moment you start giving your time, your energy, your mental bandwidth to every opinion, every whisper, every passive-aggressive comment, you lose control. You hand over the keys to your emotional state. And once that's gone, so is your power. Some people speak just to distract you. Some argue not to understand, but to provoke. Some throw subtle jabs, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your progress intimidates them. Your growth exposes their comfort. And instead of stepping up, they'd rather pull you down. That's not someone who deserves your energy. That's someone testing your emotional discipline. You don't have to engage with every message. You don't have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have to defend your vision to people who have none of their own. Way you need to be. If someone hasn't built anything, created anything, overcome anything, what exactly makes their opinion about your journey relevant? The answer is nothing. Emotional maturity means learning to sit with the discomfort of not reacting. You don't clap back. You don't spiral. You don't beg people to see your worth. You walk. You get quiet. You focus harder. Because you understand something most people never figure out. Attention is an investment. And some situations are just bad deals. Look around. People spend hours talking about people who don't care about them. They replay conversations in their head, obsessing over who said what and why. They let their entire day get thrown off by a single disrespectful text or a sideways look. That's a distraction tactic. And whether the other person is doing it intentionally or not doesn't matter. What matters is whether you fall for it. Self-respect means knowing when to disengage. Not out of weakness, but out of strength, out of clarity, out of a deep understanding that time spent explaining yourself to the wrong people is time stolen from your goals. Every minute wasted on someone who's not aligned with your values is a minute you can't get back. You're not here to convince. You're not here to chase. You're not here to dilute your standards so someone else can feel comfortable. You're here to build, to evolve, to execute. And not everyone is equipped to handle the version of you that's doing that work. So let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them project their insecurities. Your job isn't to manage their emotions. Your job is to control your focus. Staying mission ready isn't about hype. It's not about adrenaline or motivation or waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about staying sharp, even when no one's watching. It's about holding the line, even when the pressure builds. Mission ready means you're not reacting emotionally to every inconvenience. It means you're prepared to move with purpose, regardless of the environment. Life doesn't care if you're tired. Challenges won't wait for your schedule to open up. The people counting on you don't get to hit pause when you feel overwhelmed. So if you're serious about your goals, you don't get ready, you stay ready. That means discipline over comfort, strategy over emotion, action over excuses. Every day, life is testing you. Me, not with loud threats, but with subtle distractions, minor setbacks, unexpected changes. A phone call that throws your mood, a delay that shakes your patience, an insult that makes you want to react. These are the moments where most people fold. They get thrown off track, spiral into chaos, or spend hours trying to regain control. But if you're mission ready, you don't break. You adapt, you adjust, you execute anyway. You don't wait until it's urgent to get serious. That's what amateurs do. Professionals, those who are locked in, they train under pressure so that when the real thing hits, they don't flinch, they don't scramble to get organized, to fix their mindset, or to clean up their routine. They're already there because they never left. Being mission ready also means knowing what your mission is. If you don't have clear direction, everything becomes a crisis. You start reacting to other people's agendas. You let external chaos dictate your internal state. But when you're aligned with a purpose, you become unshakable. You're not confused by noise. You're not swayed by opinions. You're not rattled by every inconvenience. You stay locked in on what matters. That requires systems, structure, habits that hold you up when motivation fades. You don't wait for inspiration. You rely on preparation. You build rituals that keep your mind strong, your body ready, and your energy aligned. You eliminate what drains you. You protect your time like it's sacred. Because it is. People won't understand your intensity. That's fine. They're not on your mission. They don't see what you see. But that's the cost of being ready when others are still waking up. While they're complaining, you're executing. While they're scrolling, you're building. While they're hesitating, you've already made your move. That's the difference. Mission ready isn't a mindset you turn on when it's convenient. You don't. It's a way of life. It's a quiet, steady commitment to being better, regardless of what's going on around you. You show up when it's hard. You lead when it's uncomfortable. You maintain composure when everyone else loses theirs. And when everything feels like it's falling apart, you hold the standard. There's a certain kind of power that doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't beg to be seen. It doesn't chase approval or try to prove a point. That power is silence. And if you know how to use it, it will take you further than any argument, outburst, or emotional reaction ever could. Most people feel the need to respond to everything. Someone disrespects them, they fire back. Someone doubts them, they scramble to prove their worth. Someone says something out of line, they drop everything to correct it. But understand this, the moment you react, you give away your control. And the person who controls your reaction controls you. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's the space between stimulus and response where composure lives. It's what separates the impulsive from the intentional. When you respond to every trigger, you become predictable, easy to provoke, easy to manipulate, easy to manipulate. But when you go silent, you become a problem they can't solve. You're not feeding the fire. You're not giving them the attention they crave. You're not showing them where your buttons are. Sometimes silence is the highest form of self-respect. You're telling yourself, this isn't worth my time. This doesn't align with who I am. This doesn't deserve my energy. Not everything demands a comeback. Not every insult deserves acknowledgement. Some things are so beneath you that the only appropriate response is none at all. Silence is how you keep your power intact. It's how you stay in control when everything around you is trying to provoke a reaction. You let the noise happen. You let the assumptions spread. You let people misread your quiet, but you never break your position. Because you know where you're going and you're not getting detoured by emotional distractions. It takes more strength to stay silent than it does to lash out. Anyone can lose their cool. Anyone can argue. That doesn't take power. That takes ego. Silence, on the other hand, requires clarity. It demands discipline. It means you trust yourself enough not to need validation in the moment. You trust your results to speak. You trust your progress to show. You trust that truth doesn't need defending. It just needs time. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't flinch. Who doesn't react. Who lets people talk, lets people underestimate, lets people spin their narratives, and just keeps moving forward. That kind of calm is threatening, because it's not loud, but it's lethal. It doesn't entertain chaos, it outlasts it. You'll notice people get uncomfortable when you go quiet. They'll try to pull you back into their storm with bait. Guilt, shame, attention-seeking. Let them try. When you hold your silence, you force them to sit with their own noise, and most people can't handle that. They're used to controlling people through emotion. You're not giving them that access anymore. You're making them talk to a wall while you're building the next level. Pressure is the filter. It's where people either step up or fall apart. Most don't lose because they weren't talented enough or smart enough. They lose because they flinched. Because when things got hard, they hesitated. When things got loud, they panicked. When it stopped being comfortable, they pulled back. But those who win, the ones who really break through, they don't flinch. They hold their ground when everything says a quit. Flinching isn't always physical. It's subtle. It's backing down when you're challenged. It's shrinking when you're doubted. It's softening your voice to make others more comfortable. It's second-guessing your moves because someone else doesn't understand your vision. That's how you lose, not all at once, but in tiny moments of surrender. Moments where your fear speaks louder than your focus. The truth is, greatness doesn't show up in ideal conditions. It's not built when you feel good. It's built in the tension, in the pressure, in the moments when your nerves are screaming and you move forward anyway. That's when something shifts. That's when you separate yourself from the ones who just talk. You earn your wins in the storm, not in the calm. Every breakthrough comes with a barrier. Something that tries to scare you off, throw you off, break you down. That's not a sign to stop. That's a signal you're getting close. But most people back off right there, right at the edge. They see resistance as a red light. Winners see it as confirmation. When it gets harder, when it gets louder, when it gets louder, when everything starts shaking, that's when you double down. That's when you dig in. You can't train grit in comfort. You build it by standing tall when your knees want to buckle. You build it by choosing not to run when escape would be easier. You build it by controlling your breath when fear punches you in the gut. The people who make it to the top, whatever a topple looks like for them, they got there by not folding. Not flinching, not letting doubt walk them out of rooms they were meant to be in. And don't mistake this for being emotionless. You'll feel everything. Fear, pressure, doubt, the weight of it all. But you still don't blink. That's what mental toughness is. It's not about not feeling. It's about refusing to let those feelings dictate your moves. It's standing in discomfort and staying composed. It's knowing that composure beats chaos. Always. People will try to test you. Life will absolutely test you. Unexpected losses, personal attacks, sudden changes, you'll get all of it. And the instinct will be to flinch, to protect yourself, to pause and reconsider. But that moment, that exact second, is where everything is decided. The ones who win aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who looked adversity in the face and didn't step back.